So, our last little talk was about the fairness of the system, of the criminal justice system, of the justice system in general, and how a civil case and a criminal case they're basically the same. It's a one litigant suing another, and the judge is the referee, so to speak, and it's just the object of the suit that's different. So in a civil case, it's one person A suing person B for money. If you watch Judge Judy, you know what that's about. That's whoever is suing another person for money. That's a small claims court. Civil cases go up, into the millions. You can have a patient suing a doctor for malpractice. It's the same thing. It's just the amount and the how the doctor was negligent. All suits are about negligence or breach of contract. So in a criminal case, it's the same in the sense that the prosecutor is the representative of the state of Michigan or whatever state or the United States, and they're suing the defendant for committing a criminal offense. And they're not trying to take away his money, they're trying to take away his freedom. So the burden of proof is higher because freedom is more valuable than money. And but the principle is the same. It's one litigant suing another. So the question arises with that long preamble: what is a federal habeas corpus case? If anybody knows anything about federal habeas corpus, they know that the petitioner, a habeas corpus case has a petitioner and a respondent. The petitioner is the person who brings the case. And in a habeas corpus case, the petitioner is a convicted and imprisoned criminal defendant, because one of the requirements of habeas corpus is that the petitioner is, do we have a question?
Yeah. In federal habeas, why is it called petitioner and respondent? And then for a criminal case, it's plaintiff and defendant.
Okay, so why is a habeas case the petitioner and the respondent, and why is a criminal case? So in a criminal case, you have the plaintiff and the defendant. The plaintiff is the state of Michigan suing the defendant, John Smith, for committing a crime. So it would be state of Michigan versus John Smith, or people of the state of Michigan versus John Smith. Now, if John Smith gets convicted, he appeals, the case is still people versus John Smith. That's the name of the case. He's on appeal. So if his appeals in the state court are denied, the next step for him is to challenge his conviction and sentence in federal court. And the way he does that is he files what's called a federal habeas corpus petition. In a federal habeas corpus case petition, the petitioner is John Smith. He's sitting in prison. He files a federal habeas corpus petition, and he titles it John Smith versus Warden Joe Schmo. And Warden Joe Schmo, he's suing Warden Joe Schmo. And why is that? Because John Smith was a defendant in the state case. He's still challenging his conviction and sentence. Why is he suing the warden? Well, habeas corpus is not technically an appeal. It's not an appeal of the conviction and sentence. It is an original action. It is an original petition. It's an original case. He's filing his own lawsuit, John Smith, against the warden for detaining him illegally. Not just illegally, but in violation of the laws and the Constitution of the United States, or the treaties. The treaties are laws of the United States, any laws of the United States. So he can't sue for a violation of state law, because that is not a claim that can be brought in a habeas corpus petition. It's not cognizable in a habeas corpus petition. So he has to argue that he's imprisoned, the warden is imprisoning him illegally in violation of the laws of the United States. The issues are the same. In fact, the issues that he raised, that John Smith raised in the Michigan Court of Appeals, we're using Michigan as an example, or Michigan Supreme Court, only those issues that he raised in front of the state courts, only those can he bring in a federal habeas corpus petition. So, for example, he would argue that his right to the effective assistance of counsel was violated at trial. That's a Sixth Amendment claim. So he's arguing that the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution was violated. Or he might argue a due process violation, right to a jury trial, any of the rights in the Constitution. He would have to raise them first through all of the state courts, in fact. And if he doesn't, then that claim is considered unexhausted, and the federal court can't grant relief on it. It has to give the state courts a first opportunity to correct the constitutional violation. So, in that case, the petitioner, the defendant in the state case, John Smith, he files the petition. The state, now it's not even the county prosecutor, so in the original criminal case, it's the county prosecutor